You're watching the Big Ten on ABC. With Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luke, and Bill, I'm Dave Pasch in Madison. A gorgeous late November Saturday, temperature closing in on 50 degrees. 2012 was the last time Nebraska beat Wisconsin, and they were down 17 points in the second half. Taylor Martinez, 4 consecutive second half scoring drives, and then a fumble by Wisconsin on 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter sealed it, as Nebraska knocked off the Badgers by 3. But that's their only win in Madison since joining the Big Ten back in 2011. Nebraska won the toss and deferred its selection to the second half, so Wisconsin will start on offense. And we'll get a look early on at one of the best freshmen in the country in Braylon Allen. Stephon Bracey is deep. And we are underway here at Camp Randall as the ball dies at the 8-yard line. And Bracey hit at the 20, breaks a tackle. Braley might be gone in the Nebraska territory. They will not catch him. A touchdown on the opening kickoff for the Badgers. You rarely see that on a short kick that takes a while to actually get to the return man. But once he got to about the 30-yard line, his own 30, it was over because Nebraska's coverage team were all the way downfield. Larshon for the extra point. A great start for Wisconsin, and exactly what Nebraska didn't need following the changes on the staff and a 3-7 record.
Well, let's take a look at this again. As we see, as you mentioned, a short kick. Nebraska's coverage units get down there. A good initial block. And as Bracey makes that initial defender miss, 2 missed tackles, he's out in the open field and on the sidelines and off to the races. Lack of foot speed for Nebraska. They're not going to catch him. And what a start for this Badgers football team. And to your point, Dave, see exactly what Nebraska didn't want. We know how good this Wisconsin defense is. And as we were talking yesterday with Scott Frost, one of the real keys to this is not to play from behind, to get a lead out in front of Wisconsin. And the Badgers up 7-0 without their offense even having to touch the field.
I'll tell you, Dusty, it's free points to what it is. I mean, this Wisconsin defense, as you just stated, they don't even have to step on the field, and they're already up. It's house money.
Given up 7 points per game during the 6-game win streak, Tom. 44 total points allowed over the last 6 games for the Badgers after that 1-3 start to the season. Alante Brown is deep as Jack Van Dyke will kick off for the Badgers. Pops it into the corner. Brown will scoop it up. And Brown up to about the 26-yard line. And here comes Adrian Martinez, excuse me, the Nebraska quarterback. Touched on Taylor earlier. Adrian, the junior from Fresno.
And look, this is a very talented quarterback. I mean, he is a weapon as a runner. Has speed, physicality, and a quarterback run game will be a big piece of this offense here today. Led a lot of explosive plays throughout the time in his career. He can throw it, but he's a streaky passer. And one thing that's plagued his entire career, those catastrophic turnovers. When Adrian Martinez takes care of the football, he is a really, really good player and leader of this offense.
Does have 5 interceptions in his last 2 games, to your point, on the giveaways, but he's closing in on becoming the all-time leader in total offense at Nebraska. He's going to take a deep shot here, and Teray is open, pulled in inside the 40-yard line of Wisconsin. Finally taken down by Faion Hicks. They're one of the best teams in the country in terms of big plays on offense.
Well, they love to move the pocket in the launch point for Martinez. And Torrey, he did this against Ohio State. That vertical deep threat to deep post, gets behind the outstanding cover man and Fayon Hicks, and a dime delivered by Martinez.
So 43 yards on the first play, and they run it on the next play with Marquise Stepp, and he gets maybe 2 yards. They get all kinds of injuries at running back. Ramir Johnson, who started the last 7 games, is out with an ankle injury. So we'll see a lot of Stepp, a transfer from USC, in this game.
And expect a lot of quarterback run game. And Tom, we talked about the explosives. Huge to get started that way for Martinez.
Big time. And now we're going to see what type of red zone efficiency they have, because that's where Wisconsin can really lock you down.
That's a receiver, Brody Belt, motioning into the backfield. The flag is down. They told us that we would see some of Belt carrying the ball because of the injuries that they have. Savion Morrison, true freshman, no longer with the program, and we talked about the injury to Ramir Johnson.
Ball start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, let's take a look at some of the impact players throughout the course of this ball game. Leo Chanel is playing as good at the linebacker position as anybody in the country. An outstanding blitzer and makes a lot of tackles for loss. So we've already seen the presence of Samori Toure, a vertical deep threat, and watch him in the triple option game as the pitch man. They motion and move him all over.
2nd and 13 after the penalty. Martinez rolling out and again takes a shot into coverage, but Toure is there inside the 10. They've gone at Fayon Hicks now twice on this opening drive, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 8-yard line after a 27-yard pass play.
Well, very similar play. Move the pocket, move that launch point for that Wisconsin Badger pass rush for Adrian Martinez, and then back across the field on the deep over route. Toure gets behind the coverage. 2nd big strike down the field from Martinez to Toure.
Toure closing in on 800 yards on the season. And they hand it off to Stepp on a little misdirection inside the 5-yard line. They push the pile down to the 1. The ball came out, but it's ruled a touchdown. It's ruled a touchdown for Nebraska, despite Deon Ingram winding up with a football for Wisconsin. So Stepp with his 2nd touchdown of the season for the Cornhuskers and a chance to tie the game.
Let's take a look at this one more time for Stepp. 6'1", 230 pounds. Look at the physicality running through the tacklers of Wisconsin. He looks into me, Dave.
Yep.
What an answer from this Nebraska Cornhusker offense. A couple of big plays down the field and a physical run by Marquise Stepp to cap off that drive.
They are 2nd in the Big Ten and 16th in the country in total offense, and we talked about the explosive plays. They are going to look further at this to see if the knee was down or any part of the body of Stepp before the ball crossed. We know one thing for sure, it was not a turnover. Clearly, you saw Ingram take the ball out of Stepp's hands once he was down, and the ball had crossed. But see if we can get a better sense here looking at replays whether he got in.
I love this play design. It's a simple zone, but on the backside, it's that triple option effect like we had talked about. As we see Stepp here, where is that knee as he goes down and reaches that football over the front of the plane? This will be the key shot right here for us. Knees down, short of the goal line. I think they're going to overturn this one, Dave. Just short of the goal line.
Looking at the replay. Yep.
Great shots by our fantastic camera crew right down the line. Well, that's a good sign, though, for Nebraska. Marquise Stepp kind of in and out of the lineup, hasn't been 100% healthy. The USC transfer, he's got that great size and a physical runner. This physical run here to start things off, but I think this is going to get overturned, Dave.
Well, you look at Martinez, he's got 24 pass plays over 30 yards or more. That's in the top 5 in the country. He has more 70-yard runs from the quarterback spot than any other quarterback in the country. So big plays have not been the issue for Nebraska this year in talking with Scott Frost.
And to further review, the runner was short of the goal line. The ball be placed inside the 1-yard line. 2nd down. And
another thing of note, look, since Jim Leonard has taken over this Wisconsin defense, they've been lights out. But the one team that's given them issues, it's this Nebraska Cornhusker team. You go back to 2018, they put up 518 yards. That's the most in a Big Ten game an offense has put up on a Jim Leonard defense here at Wisconsin. Even back in 19, the last time that they played, he puts up 492. So this scheme, some of the misdirection, some of the explosives has given this Badger defense trouble. And we've seen it here early to start this game.
This is not a given right here. Nebraska getting in the end zone with that front for Wisconsin here on goal line.
Quarterback run game, a big part down here.
Step, and he's in for the Nebraska touchdown. That one will count. What a response by the Cornhuskers. They averaged about 12 yards per play on that drive. Wisconsin came in, as we showed you at the start of the telecast, averaging less than 4 yards per play, which is significant because that's the best in college football in a decade since Alabama in 2011. And plus, that's the first touchdown that Wisconsin has allowed, period, since October.
Had a lot of questions about, with the tumultuous bye week, 4 different coaches being let go offensively. How would they respond? The Huskers with a big score here early.
Harvard celebrating on the road. Back to you, Dave.
All right, guys, good afternoon. Beautiful day here in Madison with the sun out. Normally this time of year, temperature might be half what we're at, which is right around 50 degrees. 7-7. After a kickoff for a touchdown by Bracey, who's got it here. And he gets tattooed at the 24-yard line.
Well, let's introduce you to one of the most talented young running backs in the country. True freshman at 17 years old, Braylon Allen, reclassified a year ago, and he's been outstanding. 6 straight 100-yard games. He's got power. He's got strength. I love his vision and cutback ability. I mean, this was a guy that just a couple of years ago was pegged as a potential safety or wide receiver. He kept growing, hit the weight room, and here he is, a key cog in this Wisconsin backfield.
He's from Fond du Lac. He'll turn 18 in January. It'll get the carry here on first down with running room. And close to another Wisconsin first down out to the 37.
You see in the cutback ability right there, just a nice stretch to the right. And as you see, Braylon Allen, patient, sees that backside cutback, foot in the ground, getting upfield, and a nice pickup on first down.
Tell you, Dusty, for a kid as big as he is, he's got great feet. He's got the feet of a 5'11", 185-pounder in a 6'1", 240-pound frame.
What'd you say, Tom? A dancing bear.
He's a dancing bear, man.
Right.
You got it.
Second down and 1. They'll give it to him again, and Allen gets the first down easily all the way to the 50-yard line. Ches Malusi had been the starter until he got injured a couple weeks ago and out for the season. Allen, who's had great numbers, had not been starting until just a week ago.
Right there. I mean, the vision, the cutback, that's a zone to the right. And as everything gets washed and caved down, you see Braylon Allen with the vision, putting that foot in the ground. And another nice pickup. They're going to ride him throughout the course of this game, Dave.
Averages 93 yards per game. 2 carries already for 27 yards, and they're at midfield. 3 straight carries, and this time Allen is hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. He was able to make one guy miss, Garrett Nelson, but then Cam Taylor-Britt on the tackle. Quarterback is Graham Mertz, sophomore, who's got a consecutive 200-yard passing games. Remember a year ago, week 1, he had one of the best debuts in Wisconsin history, one of the best in Big Ten history, with just the 1 incompletion and 5 touchdowns. Then he got COVID, never seemed to be the same, although nobody was a year ago. He has turned the ball over more than he's had success this year. 9 picks and 8 touchdowns. He'll throw it here on second down and has a completion across the middle, but Jake Ferguson was down as soon as he caught it for a gain of about 4.
Mertz really seems to be settling in, though. Over the course of the last 2-3 games, when you watch the film, one thing I've noticed early on, he was staring down receivers. And now I think he's done a much better job with his eyes, working safeties away. Thomas, you and I talked about a lot of improvement from Graham Mertz.
Big time. And I think he's just playing within himself. He's settling down, he's comfortable, and he's got that big bruiser behind him to take the pressure off the offense.
Mertz on 3rd down and 5. Throws complete. Right at the line to gain was Jack Dunn. The spot has him just short. 4th down. And they're going to bring in the fullback, John Chanel, along with the big running back, Braylon Allen. We'll see if Again, it's where the ball is when the player goes to the ground, and that's why he's just short.
I really like the route of Dunn there, but he's got to push that past the sticks or option route. As he works out, he needs to be past that 40. Look for the fullback dive right here from John Chanel. They love to give it to the big bruising fullback. Pushes the pile.
And this isn't something we always see from Paul Christ in this situation. They do give it to the fullback, and it is a first down for John Chanel. His 26th carry of the year, and he moves the chains to the 37 of Nebraska.
Look at Chanel showing some athleticism with the jump cut. Typically, he just lowers the shoulder and pushes the pile forward. It was good penetration from that Nebraska front. And Chanel with some sweet feet picking up the first down.
Over the last 6 games, Wisconsin has more rushing yards than anybody in the country, about 270 per game. And they've been able to move the ball down the field on the ground on this possession. Their first of the game. They scored on the opening kickoff. Play action for Mertz. And going downfield into single coverage. And the catch is made, and then the ball comes out. Pryor could not hang on inside the 5-yard line. Incomplete pass.
Wow, really big missed opportunity here down the field by Kendrick Pryor. Allows that ball to come into his body. You'd like to see him get his hands on that football. Hard play action, max protection. It was really good protection by the Wisconsin front. Mertz puts the ball right where it needs to be. Missed opportunity from Kendrick Pryor.
They go back to Allen here on second down. No running room. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. You saw that time Casey Rogers on the ground getting blocked, and he still makes the tackle. It will be third down and long for Wisconsin.
It's been a scrappy Nebraska defense all year. I mean, they've just been rock solid for Eric Shenander up front. Casey Rogers making the play there, but Ben Stilley's been a mainstay. Garrett Nelson. Really like this linebacking core with Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich. They've been really good.
Mertz to throw on third and long. It's a screen over the middle, but it's well defended. Jake Ferguson tackled by Ty Robinson. Fourth down at about 5. We just saw Paul Christ go for it a moment ago. I'm not sure how many times this year they've gone for it twice on fourth down in one possession, but it looks like they're going to here. It would be about a 50-yard field goal. Colin Larsh's long is 43, so they're not in his range just yet.
Makes sense to go for it here, Dave. Clearly, when your kicker doesn't have the leg, trust your offense and Graham Mertz.
Mertz with time, everybody covered. Now a receiver comes free, but it's an incomplete pass. A shipper had it knocked away by Cam Taylor-Britt, second team all Big Ten corner from a year ago, and Nebraska takes over on downs.
Well, it's an outstanding play by Cam Taylor-Britt. The recovery speed, the makeup, gets that right hand in there to knock the ball loose. Big stop for the Husker defense.
Football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
It's senior day here in Madison. Now, Paul Christ, the head coach, it's his 7th senior day as the head coach, but he experienced senior day as a player back in 1988. Was an assistant coach a couple different times with the Badgers. Got the head coaching job at Pitt, and then Barry Alvarez brought him back 7 years ago. He just turned 56 years old on Wednesday. He's won Big Ten Coach of the Year a couple times. Brother Jeep is a coach out at Cal. Brother Rick, former commissioner of the MAC. Nebraska with a first down after the turnover on downs, and Martinez going to the air in trouble, but he dumps it off complete out to the 42-yard line to Marvin Scott, playing running back. That's his first catch of the year, and he's only got 6 rushing attempts, and they happen week 2 against Fordham.
That's a good decision by Adrian Martinez. Same plays we saw on the first possession, the deep shots to Torrey. He had Omar Manning deep, but it was well covered on the deep over, and he went to his check down. Good, smart decision from Martinez.
And they'll run it here, and it's a first down for Scott out across the 45 to the 47 for a 5-yard pickup. Last 6 games, giving up 7 points per game and already 7 allowed. And you talked about Nebraska playing well offensively, even though Adrian Martinez is 0-2. He's played well in both games against Wisconsin here in Madison. 38th career start today. He had 384 passing yards in the game in 2018 against the Badgers. Run it on first down to Belt. And it's a good pickup into Wisconsin territory for about 6 yards.
We saw Leo Chanel there downhill blitzing like he does. He comes free, comes inside a little bit too much, unable to get Brody Belt down. And a nice pickup from the guy who once was a running back, moved to receiver, and now with some injuries at running back, Belt going to see some more time in the backfield today.
He's a sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. So second down and 5, 2 good possessions. Even if they have to punt, they flip the field here. Time, but everybody covered. Martinez looking to run and then throws back across the middle for a first down. Travis Volkolek, the backup tight end, just his 9th catch of the year, but it's an 18-yard gain.
Adrian Martinez, I mean, so good maneuvering in the pocket, working away from the pressure, no panic, eyes down the field, and he sees Volkolek come open over the middle. Nice, easy dump down to move the chains once again. Excellent start to this ball game for Adrian Martinez. We've seen him take his shots, a couple of deep balls down the field with accuracy early. Now, moving around, just dinking and dunk a little bit here on this drive.
4 of 4 passing, 95 yards. A little trouble with the snap here, so he just wisely goes down to the ground. A 5-yard loss.
Martinez down at the 36-yard line. Also 5 on the play.
Some confusion, it looked like, between the quarterback Martinez and Omar Manning.
Manning's the motion man, and that snap comes right as Manning is right in front of the quarterback. It hits him in the helmet, and boy, a somewhat of a major issue averted there with Adrian Martinez getting on that football.
Very fortunate.
Cam Jurgens is the center. There have been some issues with that offensive line. They've got 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores on that starting 5. Play fake here. Martinez with pressure coming, goes to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Is intended for Levi Falk. 3rd down and 15.
Really seeing a lot of moving the pocket here early. That's a lot of what Nebraska does, but maybe even more so early on in this game than we typically see. I think that's out of respect to this Wisconsin Badger pass rush. Seeing Scott Frost really do a nice job changing that launch point for Adrian Martinez. Sanborn coming on the backside there. We got 3rd and long. See right here if Jim Leonard tries to heat up Adrian Martinez and get that football out of his hand quickly.
Nebraska has lost 16 consecutive games to AP-ranked teams. That's the longest for Nebraska of the AP poll era. The play clock was down to 1, and the Cornhuskers have to burn a timeout, their first of the half. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of ESPN College Football. And before the 3rd down and 15 play, let's check in with Tom down on the field.
Yeah, guys, standing next to this Nebraska staff, you know, when you have the coaching changes you have to have an organizational structure for who's handling player substitution. That was a faux pas right there that forced them to have to call a timeout. Now has this crowd into the game as we've got a critical 3rd down for the Nebraska offense.
Ball is at the 36-yard line. And they're going to run Martinez in trouble, and down he goes back at the 42. Nick Herbig, who's had a great year, sophomore from Hawaii, with 12 tackles for a loss now.
I love watching this guy on tape. Outstanding pass rusher. I love how he sets the edge right there, stays upfield, and gets Adrian Martinez on the ground. Excellent play by one of the more dynamic pass rushers this Wisconsin defense has. Just a true sophomore. And man, has he taken his game to another level this season.
That looked a lot more like the Wisconsin defense we've seen the last month and a half. After Nebraska got deep into Badger territory for the 2nd time, they went backwards. Here's the punt by Pristup. Dean Ingram is deep, and he's going to let it go, and it goes into the end zone. Touchback, and will come out to the 20-yard line. Sunday, 10 Eastern on ESPN. Be sure to catch NFL Countdown before Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott square off. Go inside the lines with a Cowboy quarterback in a Wired for Sound segment. Plus, comedian Kevin Hart joins them live from Philadelphia. Then on Monday night
versus Prescott matchup, man, it's going to be must-see TV tomorrow afternoon.
And despite all the issues with Kansas City early on, they still are in the driver's seat to win that division. And once they get into the playoffs, I'm not counting on Patrick Mahomes. Here's Allen running to the left. He's grabbed, but he's just so powerful. Garrett Nelson's 245 pounds. Braylon Allen, the running back, is basically the same size. And he won that battle and picked up 5 yards.
A weight room freak, as he was described to us. You want to see a man moving some weight? Check out the 17-year-old Braylon Allen. That 6'10" on his shoulders. He's going down and taking it right back up. That's what we're talking about when we describe the power, the strength of this young, dynamic running back for Wisconsin.
I just tore every ligament in both knees watching that. 2nd down and 5. They go to Allen again. And he gets knocked down short of the line to gain. There's an injured Cornhuskers. Damian Daniels made the tackle, and Allen is a little slow to get up as well.
It's Caleb Tanner, looks like down, Dave.
He appeared short, which would bring up 3rd down and 1. This is a Nebraska team that gave up just 90 rushing yards to Ohio State and 71 to Michigan State. And how they've played so far in this game, it's how they played in every game. Again, 7 losses on the season, but by a combined 42 points. Lost by 3 to Michigan, lost by 5 to Purdue, by 7 at Minnesota, and then by 9 against Ohio State, which was their largest margin of defeat on the season. But that was only a 9-point game because of a late field goal by Ohio State.
And that was a game that was 23-17. Nebraska driving late, around 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and they miss a field goal to cut it to 3, and then Ohio State goes down and kicks a field goal with under 2 minutes to play. They have been right in the thick of so many of these football games. I go back to the Michigan State game. I'm still trying to figure out with the way that second half played, how they lost that. Well, it's turnovers. You give up a punt return for a touchdown. But to your point, they have been so close in so many of these games, just haven't found a way to win these close ones.
So with Caleb Tanner down, so let me ask you a question. Why then, after the bye week, why make the coaching changes then? We've seen a lot of head coaches get fired. I believe there's 9 openings right now. Scott Frost will be back. That was the other part of the assistant coaches being removed, is that a restructured contract, but Frost will be back in 2022. But why make the changes then? Why not wait till the end of the season to make the changes on the staff?
Well, Coach Frost told us that, you know, that's his decision. I would like to think that it might not completely be his decision. You know, those are really good, close friends of his. He talked at length about how good of coaches and people that they were and how difficult that decision was to make those moves. So I feel for him in that process, but sometimes changes have to be made when you're losing the way that they have. I'll be honest, as Caleb Tanner gets up, gets a ovation from the crowd. Great to see.
And I get it, Dusty. I understand about making changes, but I just don't get why. You've got 2 games left in the season. You're not going to a bowl game. Why not wait till after the year? What does it do to your players? I understand decisions have to be made, and Scott Frost has a bad record here at Nebraska. But if you're going to make changes on the staff, why now? It doesn't make sense.
I don't have a good answer for you. I asked you the same question yesterday. I'm not sure, but that's the route that they wanted to go. I think big picture, though, with Trev Alberts now as the athletic director, we see coaches getting fired sooner and sooner. I'm glad that they stood by Scott Frost. They are very close, and having watched him at UCF and saw the turnaround he had there and going back home to a place he won a national championship and having talked with him about what Nebraska football means to him, I think that the fan base wants to see him make it work, and they're going to give him that next opportunity next season. I was glad to see the athletic director stand by his head coach.
3rd down and 1. Nebraska with momentum. They stack the box and hand it off to Allen. And second effort, he gets the first down, bounces off a defender, and turns on the burners inside the 30-yard line. Being chased at the 10, but he's into the end zone for the touchdown. A 71-yard house call by Braylon Allen, the outstanding 17-year-old.
this football game. Just a couple of possessions for this Badgers offense, but it's been the Braylon Allen show. And wow, what an outstanding run there. Patience, physicality, running through a tackle, and then it's off to the races in the open field as he finds pay dirt.
Career-long 71-yard run. His previous high was 70, and that's the 10th touchdown for Braylon Allen. 14-7 after the point after.
Watch the patience in the hole. Watch him completely slow down. Wait for it to open up, lower his shoulder. Runs through a missed tackle there by Cam Taylor-Britt. Good effort by Britt to try to catch him, but it's too late as Allen rolls into the end zone. I just love the patience of lowering the shoulder.
You know, Dusty, it's interesting. It almost looked like he expected to be hit. He was falling forward, and then he realized nobody was there to tackle him.
Braylon Allen already closing in on a 7th consecutive 100-yard game on the ground. That would match Jonathan Taylor for the longest.
I think he's already eclipsed it, Dave, with that run. Up over 100 yards, 7 straight times. Doesn't even turn 18. January of next year.
Yeah, 109 now on 7 carries on the day. Jonathan Taylor, the last to have 7 straight in 2018. He's the last freshman to have 6 straight was P.J. Hill back in 2006.
Tom, tell me, how did smart recruiting guys like yourself have this guy as a safety? This guy's unbelievable in the backfield.
Listen, I was just glad to hear Paul Chris say the same thing when we talked to him. Guy's 6'1", 210 pounds, and they really didn't know what they wanted to do with him. He was going to be a safety, potentially a linebacker, maybe a running back. They just liked that he could play multiple positions, and then he got introduced to the weight room.
Here's Alante Brown for Nebraska on the return. In trouble. And he will not make it past the 20-yard line. All right, time for our Aflac trivia question. Okay, if you don't know this one, then I'm not talking to either of you for the rest of the day. Which former Big Ten head coach played for Nebraska the last time they defeated Wisconsin in Madison?
Which former Big Ten head coach played for Nebraska the last time they defeated Wisconsin in Madison? Okay.
The hint is we've talked about him I think twice already in the show, and over the last 24 hours we've talked about him for about 4 hours. Oh my goodness, wide open is Austin Allen, the tight end, and he lowers the shoulder on the Badger defender and takes it all the way to the 48-yard line of Wisconsin. Another big play through the air.
And as we're going to see Allen, he just comes open in the open field. Really an outstanding route. Just a corner route, unidentified by Wisconsin. They leave him open, and Adrian Martinez locates the open man. 6'9", 255-pound tight end, one of the true leaders of this team with a big play.
33 yards through the air, and now they're going to run it. Getting back to the line of scrimmage as Brody Belt comes up half a yard short of the original point of attack, and that's Matt Henningsen, a former walk-on, making his 27th career start. Guy that had a 4.0 undergraduate GPA and now is in grad school at Wisconsin and made the tackle.
What did Jim Leonard say? He's a genius academically and a freak athletically. He said he's got a 4.0 electrical engineering and a 10-foot broad jump, and a former walk-on that's played a lot of football, really having an excellent season.
On 2nd down and long, they run the option. Martinez keeps it, finds some running room inside the 35-yard line, inside the 30 before he scoots on a play at the 27 for a gain of 20 on the ground for Adrian Martinez, who has over 500 rushing yards on the year.
Well, this is old school triple option. Fake to belly. You saw 19 cave down. Adrian Martinez makes that initial defender miss, and a quality pickup as he hits the sidelines. You know, not many people still running versions of the triple option, and Nebraska does it in a variety of ways. Very well executed and a smart decision there by Adrian Martinez.
He's an excellent runner, as we talked about the rushing yards, but he's also got 12 rushing touchdowns, 34 in his career. And before this day is over, he's going to be the all-time leader in total offense at Nebraska.
We'll start on my Am I ready?
Passing Tarmy Armstrong Jr. He had a very good opening quarter. Right now the difference is that kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game. And that's the end of the first quarter here in Madison, with the Badgers leading 14-7. College football on ABC, presented by Arby's, will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. A shot of Bascom Hall here on campus in Madison, Wisconsin. And the Badgers ranked 15th in the country. They lead 14-7, but Nebraska had a better quarter against them offensively than anyone has the last 2 months. And they're going to run the ball to Brody Belt here. He's down to the 25 on 2nd and 10. So a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Nebraska in that first quarter had 157 yards in total offense. During the 6-game winning streak for Wisconsin, the Badgers had been giving up 195 for the game.
Remarkable what this defense has done, and it just shows you how impressive the start to this game has been for Nebraska.
They stick with Belt at running back. I said 3rd and 7. It is 2nd and 7. Here's an option again. And the pitch to Belt. He's got the first down inside the 15. Slammed down by Scott Nelson at the 14-yard line. A gain of 11.
Man, how about that 3rd down? Freeze it right here, guys. Watch 41 right here. It's Burks. Go ahead and roll it. He's right there in no man's land, and he decides he's going to stay with the quarterback. Nobody there for the pitch man. An excellent job once again by Adrian Martinez, making the right decision in real time based of how the defense is going to try to play the option.
Give it to Belt again, and a good hole opened up by that offensive line. You got the safety again making the tackle, Scott Nelson, a pickup of 8 or 9.
It's Cam Jurgens inside, 51 the center. Nice job scooping up. That hole opens up, and Belt hitting it downhill. The ability of Nebraska to run the football here at times been really impressive. I mean, they're already at 50 yards, and this is a Badgers defense that only allows 60 yards a game.
They've got them on their heels right now, Dusty. There's so much going on in the backfield. Wisconsin's just got to settle down, trust their eyes.
Marquis step in the game now at running back. He'll get the carry here, keeps the feet moving, and pushes forward close to the first down. They'll rule that forward progress was stopped about a yard short of the line to gain, bringing up 3rd down. Nebraska has 1 game left. That is Friday against Iowa. Wisconsin will be at Minnesota. If the Badgers lose today, they could still win the West, but would need some help. They do control their own destiny, though, to get to the Big Ten championship game. They have wins over Iowa and Purdue. Big 3rd down and 1 for that defense here. Step gets the carry, and he's stuck at the line of scrimmage, fighting with second effort to get close to the first down, but he won't. In fact, he's going to lose a half yard. We'll see what Nebraska does on 4th down.
Well, it's Leo Chanel, and this guy has just been lights out, flying downhill from the linebacker position. Big tackle for loss. Guy has just been unbelievable. Really go back since that Army game and what he's been able to do to create negative plays. And Scott Frost, he says, we need to score touchdowns. Not going to trust his kicker, and he's going for it here. Problematic area for them all year.
Yeah, their kickers are 50%. Play action, Martinez into the end zone, broken up, incomplete, and Wisconsin will take over on downs. Austin Allen, the intended target. Scott Nelson got his hands on the football.
Well, Scott Nelson makes an outstanding play. Hard play action, and Scott Nelson is in full, continues to sink, gets back there, and makes an excellent play. Huge stop for the Badgers defense. Well, Scott Nelson runs the show for this secondary. Watch him here as he's going to float over and read the eyes of the quarterback, Adrian Martinez. I love right here. He sees it. He's looking at Adrian Martinez. Martinez hesitates, waits too long, and Nelson feels the route behind him, sinks, gets his hands up, and gets a huge pass breakup on 4th down.
So Wisconsin takes over. On its 6-yard line, leading 14-7. 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. They'll run the fullback, John Chanel, and he gets about 4 yards out to the 10. John, the brother of Leo, we talked about earlier. In fact, they are 2 of 16 siblings from Grantsburg, Wisconsin.
Couple of football playing dudes right there. John Chanel, Leo Chanel, his brother.
Ain't no long sleeves on these dudes.
No, man. A fullback and a linebacker. Come get you some.
That's right.
Here's Braylon Allen off the left side, dragged down at the line of scrimmage by Damian Daniels, the captain. Been really good on that defensive line for the Huskers this year.
Yeah, you see Damian Daniels on the inside, just works off the backside of that center. Really well done getting up the field. Also Garrett Nelson, and you referenced it, partner. Damian Daniels, the big body guy getting up the field and one of the real leaders, captain of this Nebraska defense.
So 3rd down and 6 for Wisconsin. Haven't seen Graham Mertz in these situations a lot this year.
Like Jake Ferguson in these spots. Right there.
Mertz will throw it, and he's going to get hit and brought down at the 4-yard line by Garrett Nelson. Everybody was covered, and Nelson with his 5th sack of the season.
Well, Garrett Nelson, one of the most improved players on this defense. Watch him work at the top of your screen. Just a bull rush, arm over inside, working on the tackle. Tyler Beach, nice power, speed to power, with a good move off the inside. It was excellent coverage down the field. Ferguson was the primary target. He was covered, and a big stop on 3rd down.
Andy Vunovic, the punter. It's a line drive. And then Martin's going to let it go. He couldn't get to it on the fly. There's some contact. But it will be Nebraska ball in Wisconsin territory when we come back. Mertz sacked on 3rd down, forcing a punt. Back to Madison in a moment. Thursday. So here's the penalty on Alexander Smith against Wisconsin. You see him take the ball there and throw it at Levi Falk. And so that's a 15-yard penalty. And Nebraska starts at the 33-yard line now. Play action pass. Martinez in trouble. On the run. Throws back across his body. And the ball comes out incomplete. Austin Allen could not hang on with Jack Sanborn in coverage.
Again, good job by Adrian Martinez making the initial defender miss. Pass slightly behind Austin Allen. Tries to make the acrobatic behind the back catch. Unable to bring that in.
Dusty, that's one of the few times we've actually seen a straight drawback from within the pocket, tackle to tackle for this offense. They've been able to avoid that pressure throughout the first quarter by moving Adrian Martinez. Let's see if they get back to that.
Martinez has thrown for 129 yards. 5 completions, 2 big plays through the air on the opening drive. On 2nd and 10, he'll throw it here to the sideline, and it's caught near the 1st down by Omar Manning. Again with Hicks in coverage. We've seen them throw at Hicks 3 different times. It's a gain of 9.
Well, this is an excellent throw by Adrian Martinez. Timing on the out route because the coverage is tight, as you can see there from Fayon Hicks. But that ball delivered perfectly to Omar Manning. Executed there from Adrian Martinez.
Great timing.
So some options here in 3rd down and 1. We talked earlier when they went for it about the issues at kicker. The field goal kickers are combined 8 of 16 for Nebraska.
QB run game here.
Out of empty with Martinez. Looking for a hole to open. And he finds it for a 1st down. To the Wisconsin 22. Taken down by Noah Burks.
Key block there, just a quarterback counter out of empty. 63, the left guard, Nuwili, pulls around and really opens up that hole to allow Martinez enough to pick up the 1st down.
Really impressed so far with Martinez. This is a guy that had a broken jaw in September, but he played. He could have had surgery. He was eating through a straw. His jaw was wired shut for a while, yet the guy was still playing football. Broken play. Martinez in trouble, but makes something out of it, getting positive yardage, scooting out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
Adrian Martinez averting disaster, and he makes Noah Burks coming off the edge. Miss. I don't know if that was Burks, but there was an unblocked Wisconsin defender unable to get Adrian Martinez down. Some confusion there, but talk about making something out of nothing. And back to your point, Dave, yeah, he was drinking his food through a straw for multiple weeks, but he refused to come out. Shows the toughness. Then against Minnesota, he bangs up his ankle. Scott Frost told us this is as healthy as he's been right now since the beginning of the season.
Out of the pistol here with Marquis Step, the running back. Martinez with play action and finds a receiver wide open inside the 10-yard line. Down near the 5 is Vokalek. That's the twice that he's caught the ball and been running free in the middle of that Wisconsin defense.
Watch Vokalek here. He's going to act like he's blocking. It's a tight end delay. Okay, he's going to stay there, hold it. No one identifies him, and then he comes free in the open field, and a good find from Martinez.
Pickup of 17, first down and goal from inside the 5-yard line. Here's Step getting the carry, nowhere to go. Hit at the point of attack by Leo Chanel. It'll be second down and goal midway through the second quarter with Nebraska trailing by 7.
The scheme today from Scott Frost has been outstanding and well executed by his players. But Tom, this is the area of the field where they've had their real struggles.
Yeah, and he admits it. He says, listen, when the field condenses, you run out of space. You got to be so clean in your execution down here.
Option.
Play fake. Martinez to the end zone. The pass is high and incomplete. Going for Xavier Betts. Looked like he had him in the back of the end zone. Instead, it's third down and goal.
Yeah, misfire here by Adrian Martinez. And man, you see Samari Toure. So much eye candy there for that Wisconsin defense. He motions, he moves around, and you got to identify him. And we saw in the back line Betts come open, but high and too far in front of his intended target. We've seen Adrian Martinez on the money most of the day. He missed an open touchdown there.
You think if they don't get it in, you got to take the points. You've been down here so often, you got to get something out of this drive. Third down and goal. Looks like they're going to call another timeout. Already used one on offense, and we'll take the second one here with 6:39 to go. And a huge third down and goal coming up for Nebraska. Oregon looking better and better with every game Ohio State plays, because remember the Ducks beat the Buckeyes in Columbus earlier this season.
Can't wait for that matchup tonight. It's going to be fun to see. Huge third down right here. I look to see move the pocket, run pass option for Martinez. Got this trips bunch down here. The 3 primary targets in this offense.
Some confusion. They have to take another timeout. They only have 1 remaining, and the play clock is down to 5. Martinez has to hurry. And here comes pressure. Pass away, and it's a touchdown to Toure. Great design and execution by Nebraska, and a chance to tie the game.
3 Toure. He's had such a key piece today. He's just going to take it right inside. Unable to identify that coverage is off. Sitting back there was Caesar Williams. Toure with an easy touchdown. As you mentioned, very well designed, utilizing the timeout by Scott Frost and cashing in points inside the red zone.
You think, again, you're at Nebraska, you're 3-7, you got no bowl game. This is it. Today and Friday against Iowa, with all the firings on the coaching staff, you had no idea how this team would come out and play, but they're fighting like they have all season long. They've been in every game this year. All right, let's go ahead and answer our Aflac trivia question, which we asked a while ago. Which former Big Ten head coach played for Nebraska the last time they defeated Wisconsin in Madison?
I'm going to say he had a lot of success coaching the Badgers.
Well, you see that. You see those.
Barry Alvarez?
Yep, you look at the upper deck there, see all the boxes, the beautiful suites. Those were not here until Barry Alvarez got here. This is the place that Alvarez built. Now, he's a great linebacker at Wisconsin, but he turned this program into a winner. Multiple Rose Bowls as the head coach, and then went on to be the athletic director. These are shots from that actual game. Wow. Back in 1966, October 8th. He had a pick 6 in that game. Nebraska won 31-3. But again, as you look at that beautiful section of suites there. Yeah, certainly Ron Dane and Russell Wilson and others helped, but Barry Alvarez was the one that got it started.
Absolutely. Got it started, took this program to such great heights. We saw Brett Bielema with a lot of success. Paul Chryst doing an excellent job. Barry Alvarez, he's like he's the Don of Wisconsin Badger football, right?
Stephon Bracey to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Has an opportunity here, and he's got some running room out past the 30-yard line. Let's check in with Kevin Agandi in the studio.
Boom. 17-7. Back to you, Dave and Dusty.
All right, Badgers taking over, guys, on their 31-yard line. Now tied with Nebraska. Play action and a dump off to the tight end, Jake Ferguson. And he's on the move inside the 40-yard line. Down to the 35. So a big play to start this drive for the Badgers.
I love this play design. Okay, watch this entire left side of the offensive line going to get out, and they're going to block. Going to set the screen up. Jake Ferguson acts like he's blocking, turns around. You get the center and entire left side of that offensive line getting out in front. Key block there by Logan Bruss. And a big pickup to start this drive.
We talked about the Wisconsin-Nebraska connection with Barry Alvarez. Most everybody knows by now. I know Badger fans are tired of hearing it, but there are people around the country that don't know that Jake Ferguson is Alvarez's grandson. Plus, Jake's dad, Brad, played at Nebraska. Here's Julius Davis on the run inside the 30. Down to the 29-yard line. Brought down by Taylor Britt after a pickup of 5.
Jake's got great hands. He's really become such a key piece of this passing attack, and he's an improved blocker. Recently, just this week, got an invite to the Senior Bowl. So really maximizing on this senior year for Jake Ferguson.
I'll tell you, Dusty, it was a great play call, too. So it was such against type for Wisconsin. On a first down, line up, look like you're going to run power. Next thing you know, you're running screen.
No doubt. That aggressive Nebraska defense, use that aggressiveness against them. And a big pickup.
Derek, 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Davis getting the carry off the left side, slips a tackle inside the 20 and down to about the 12-yard line. So a gain of 17 yards for Julius Davis, who had no carries until just a couple weeks ago.
I love this blocking scheme. You're going to see backside guard and center get out in front. 75 Joe Tippmann, he gets the initial, 70 the left guard gets the initial defender, and then it's 79 Jack Nelson getting up on that linebacker, helping spring a quality run.
With Malusi out for the rest of the season, a season-ending leg injury a couple weeks ago against Rutgers. You got Allen, you got Brady Shipper, but Julius Davis getting more work here the last couple of games.
Good physical run there.
Braylon Allen is back in on first down. He'll run to the right and trying to bust it to the outside. A flag comes down, might be a face mask at the end. You saw Miles Farmer get a hand upstairs against Braylon Allen. There was also another flag down prior to that.
I think they're going to offset. I think there's going to be a hold on Ferguson, and you pointed out the face mask at the end. That play never worked out from the start. Chanel falls.
Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Okay, well, they must have felt that and you hear some boos here, that the play by Farmer, that maybe he didn't twist the face mask.
Hold there. Talking about Ferguson as an improved blocker outside the framework on that.
Boy, that looks like a pull to me. You grab the opening of the helmet and you tug it. I mean, that.
Surprised that's not called. That looks like a miss to me.
Everybody saw it, too, Dusty.
So now it is first down and 20 at the 22-yard line. They'll give it to Allen. Inside the 20 for about 3 yards. Gang tackled there, led by Ben Stilley. Later tonight from Las Vegas, top-ranked boxing. The main event, a 12-rounder between undefeated WBO welterweight champ Terrence Bud Crawford and former two-time welterweight world champion Showtime Sean Porter. Prelims start 7 Eastern on ESPN2, followed by the main card 9 Eastern on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app.
It's going to be a great fight tonight. Who you got? Who you got, Dave? Going with Bud Crawford tonight.
I'm going Sean Porter tonight.
Crawford.
What do you know about boxing, Dave? Come on.
Second down and 17. Mertz over the middle, and it's caught at the 15-yard line by Shipper, but a good tackle by the middle linebacker, Nick Henrich, bringing up 3rd down and long here for the Badgers, nearing 3 minutes to go in the half.
And with that holding penalty, you reference it right there, 3rd and long. It's not the way this offense is set up and built to have success. Important play right here from Graham Mertz. 3rd and long, and especially from the protection standpoint, you've already seen Garrett Nelson with good pressure and a true drop-back situation.
Wisconsin 1 of 4 on 3rd down. Mertz in trouble, gets hit, and throws the ball away. So Nebraska holds. Damian Jackson was back for Nebraska all over the quarterback, Graham Mertz, along with Casey Rogers.
Well, I love defensive line stunts, and that's called a Tex game. 98 gets up the field, Casey Rogers. Damian Jackson is the looper underneath. Pressure right in the face of Graham Mertz, and they forced the throwaway. Well done by Damian Jackson. Casey Rogers on that twist.
Nebraska without one of its best pass rushers, JoJo Doman, who injured his hand against Purdue recently and is out for the season. Here's a short field goal that's wide to the left. Boy, a 33-yarder miss by Colin Larsh. He's now 13 of 17 on the year, and it remains a tie game with 2:43 to play. The Badgers with a good drive, but they couldn't pay it off. We're tied late in the first half in Camp Randall. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. One of the best in the country, the student section here at Camp Randall. Their team, though, tied with Nebraska after a missed 33-yard field goal. Cornhuskers take over on their 20-yard line. 1 timeout remaining. They'll keep it on the ground here with Stepp, and he doesn't get much on 1st down. Jack Sanborn in there first.
We've talked a lot about Leo Chanel. The other part of that inside linebacking core is Jack Sanborn. So smart. Kind of goes off script at times, but he's allowed to do that with Jim Leonard because Jim Leonard knows he's not going to take chances he doesn't need to. One of the outstanding interior linebacking duos in all of college football. I tell you, that guy right there, tough as nails. Earlier this year, dislocated his finger against Iowa, went through the skin, was bleeding, went in the locker room, got it reset, got it stitched up, back out there, only missed a series of football. That's toughness if I've ever heard of it.
On 2nd and 7, Martinez in trouble being chased, throws it downfield into traffic, and the ball is knocked away from Toure, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Scott Nelson had pressure on Martinez, and Caesar Williams with coverage downfield.
Got Nelson from the backside, from the safety position at the line of scrimmage, but how about the play at the end? Caesar Williams, watch him get this right hand in here as the ball is being caught. Outstanding job dislodging that ball from Toure. It's a well-thrown football on the move from Adrian Martinez, but better coverage down the field from Williams.
Now a chance for Wisconsin if it can get a stop to get the ball back with all of its timeouts remaining. They hand it off to Stepp on 3rd down, and they're just forcing Wisconsin to use a timeout. That's all that was about. Running the ball there at 3rd down and 7 from inside their 25-yard line. So 2 timeouts remaining with 1:40 to go for the Badgers. Let's check in with Kevin in the studio.
Dave, Capital One halftime report just minutes away. Booker McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here with you. So right now, 2 big plays for Wisconsin. They don't get that. We're talking about a different story with Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska's playing tough today. If you're Wisconsin, you can't be happy with where you are. And if you're Nebraska, you got to be ecstatic when your defense is playing well.
Ohio State ecstatic right now as they get ready for Michigan next week.
They just scored again, by the way.
Yes, they did. Highlights of Michigan at Maryland, plus Georgia, Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, all in action. Back to you.
Thanks, fellas. And you were saying last night, Dusty, before we watched Ohio State, that you think Wisconsin, if it is Ohio State, Wisconsin could hang with the Buckeyes. Does that change after what you've seen here so far and what you saw the Buckeyes do to the Spartans earlier today?
Well, first of all, that big game next week against Michigan for Ohio State. Yeah, Wisconsin still has to win this game, and they got a tough one against Minnesota. I don't ever want to put the cart before the horse, but I would still love to see that matchup of this Badgers defense against that Ohio State offense. But, man, was Ohio State impressive today. Holy cow. That was quite the statement by the Buckeyes.
C.J. Stroud may have captured the Heisman on today alone. Short punt, and it hugs the sideline and is down to the 44. So that's good starting field position for the Badgers. Now a quick word from Cheez-It.
The Hall of Cheese is here to honor fans as dedicated to college football as Cheez-It is to cheese. If that's you, use the hashtag MVCheese contest to show us why you're worthy.
2 timeouts remaining. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill, and Madison. We'll see what Paul Chryst allows Graham Mertz to do here. Because of that bad punt, you get a good punt, then maybe that changes the game plan for the Badgers. 35-yard punt was it. They are going to run it here with Brady Schipper. Trying to get out of bounds. He could. We'll see if Wisconsin calls a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Gain of about 3. Good job by Cam Taylor-Britt. Keep him from going out of bounds.
And the initial defender, Garrett Nelson, he's having himself a heck of a first half here. And Wisconsin back on the football quick. I'd like to see him take the shot down the field.
Mertz with time. Everybody covered, though, has to go underneath. And it's incomplete. He was going for Schipper. And Garrett Nelson, we've seen him rush the passer. We've seen him in coverage. And it's 3rd down and long.
This zone blitz right here is we're going to see Nelson. He's going to drop back. Really good job right there as he locates Schipper in his zone. He's having himself a heck of a first half, man. He's got some toughness to him. Really stout against the run. We've seen the power as a pass rush, now showing some versatility as a drop man. He's also 2-time state champion wrestler. Great first half here for number 44 in white.
His dad, Chris, was an All-American wrestler at Nebraska. 3rd down and 8. Mertz from the pocket, got single coverage downfield, and it's incomplete. There's some contact, but it looked like it was initiated by Danny Davis, the wide receiver, against Taylor-Britt. 4th down.
Well, there's the shot I was looking for, but it's very well covered down the field by Cam Taylor-Britt. I think you're exactly right, Dave. I saw more of the contact, especially here, as Davis tries to work back to the football on Danny Davis as opposed to Cam Taylor-Britt. Good positioning right there on the football, and quick stop there for the Nebraska defense.
Vunovich to punt. Oliver Martin is deep, and the fair catch is made at the 9-yard line. 50 seconds remaining. 1 timeout for Nebraska. Don't forget, on Tuesday, a brand new college football playoff top 25 ranking show presented by Capital One. The Badgers, the highest ranked 3-loss team at number 15. Would you put, if Alabama wins, and they're winning right now, do you jump Alabama if you're Ohio State?
Ooh. Let's see how the end of that game looks. But, man, based off what we saw today from Ohio State, a team that the committee clearly respects in Michigan State, I think that we're going to see some movement in that top 4, and Ohio State's got to be working its way up.
So Logan Smothers, the backup quarterback's in the game here. He's just going to run the ball. And maybe because that was the plan all along, they don't want Martinez maybe to get hurt. But when you're putting in a true freshman backed up inside his 10, so you wonder if there's something wrong with Martinez or if they just want to run the clock out here and they don't want Martinez to get hurt. He has had some injuries this year, so perhaps that's why, or maybe he got banged up earlier.
An interesting decision here by Scott Frost. I don't quite know exactly what the thought process is here. Adrian Martinez really having a good game.
Now Smothers is a good runner. He's got 13 carries, played now in 5 games on the season. Likely to be the final play. Just hands it off here to Step. And Paul Chryst will not use a timeout, so the first half comes to an end. Well, as Booger and Kevin talked about, 2 big plays for Wisconsin. That's why this game's tied. Otherwise, Nebraska in command. You had a 71-yard run for a touchdown, a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So 14 points allowed in that first half, the most all year by that Badger defense, which ranks number 1 in the country coming into today. Capital One halftime report coming up after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. From Madison, Wisconsin, you're watching the Big Ten on ABC. A tie game at 14 at Camp Randall between number 15, Wisconsin, and 3-7, Nebraska. Our hardest working players brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Let's start with the kickoff return for a touchdown by Stephon Bracey, 91 yards.
Makes a couple of guys miss, and it's off to the races for Bracey as there were fireworks to start this game. And it didn't take long for the 17-year-old freshman Braylon Allen to break a couple of tackles and take it 71 to the house. And how about the first half for Adrian Martinez? He was outstanding throwing the football. This Nebraska offense was really impressive against one of the best defenses in all of college football. No defense hotter coming into this game than Wisconsin. And Nebraska, ton of success moving the football up and down the field.
Right, without those big plays by Wisconsin, who knows where the Badgers would be right now. Probably not tied, probably trailing. Fair catch signal made, so a touchback, and Nebraska will start at the 25. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill. So, Dusty, given all that's going on with the Nebraska program, with 4 coaches having to be fired by head coach Scott Frost, and obviously a losing season, pretty impressive what we saw so far in this game.
I think really impressive for what we saw. Adrian Martinez was cool, calm, collected, making plays down the field. I thought overall just the offensive game plan executed to a T, and that was the real question. What would the motivation be? What would it look like when there was turmoil, new coaches being mixed and matched? Credit to these Nebraska players dealing with a lot in the bye week and in this preparation week. They showed up ready to play here today. Surely shows this team 100% still believes in their head coach, Scott Frost.
A loss by 3 against Michigan, 5 against Purdue, 9 against Ohio State. They took Michigan State to overtime. Nothing to show for it, though. Maybe today it'll finally happen. Here's Austin Allen out past the 40-yard line as we check in with Tom.
Well, guys, if you go back to the end of the second quarter, Adrian Martinez did not finish the second quarter. Came out of the locker room. I talked to Scott Frost. I said, hey, what's the deal? Can he go? He said, if he can go, he'll go. Wouldn't give me specifics on an injury. Now, watching him in pregame warm-up, you could clearly see that it is something to do with the right side of his body. When he would throw with a lot of power. You saw some wincing. Took a little off that pass right now, so we got to monitor him here in the third quarter.
And we saw Logan Smothers in to finish that half. They run it here to Marvin Scott straight ahead for about 3 yards. We already touched on the toughness of Adrian Martinez, playing through a broken jaw as well as an ankle injury already this season.
We'll monitor throughout the course of this game exactly how much it's going to affect his throwing motion, his ability to put the ball down the field. We saw from Jump Street here today a couple of deep shots taken by Adrian Martinez to what's been his favorite target, Samori Toure. That continue to be a part of this offense. We shall see.
Martinez about 80 yards away from becoming the all-time leader in total offense in Nebraska, making his 38th career start today at quarterback. He'll spin it here on 2nd down and 7, going downfield, and it's intercepted, picked off at the 40-yard line by Colin Wilder, bringing it back into Nebraska territory, all the way down to the 33-yard line.
Well, good pressure right here coming off the edge, as we're going to see the pressure gets home on Adrian Martinez, and he takes a shot down the field. An outstanding job by Colin Wilder, just playing center field. Eyes on the quarterback as he steps in front of that pass. And here early to start this second half, the Badgers come up with their first takeaway of the game, and in prime real estate after a great return by Wilder.
And during this winning streak of 6 games, they have 17 takeaways and now 11 interceptions. Badgers starting this drive inside the 35. They're going to keep it on the ground here with Allen. And he gets maybe 2. Miles Farmer in there on the takedown for the Cornhuskers.
One thing I want to see in the second half of this ball game, can Graham Mertz stretch the field? You know, we saw him take one shot down the field, and Kendrick Pryor wasn't able to bring it in. But really, no vertical passing game whatsoever to speak of. Can they back up that Nebraska defense and really help allow to open up this rushing attack with Braylon Allen?
Think about it. Any pass beyond 5 yards, He's 0 for 3, so only 3 passes longer than 5 yards. Although we say that, and he gets a completion inside the 20 to Jake Ferguson, and a gain of about 12 to the 19-yard line. First down.
Well, I like the route right here. There's trust between Ferguson, and watch as the linebacker vacates. We're going to see Ferguson come sit right in the hole. Okay, you see Reimer vacate that zone. Ferguson sits right there, locks up, and really good chemistry there from Graham Mertz, Jake Ferguson. A nice first down.
I'll tell you, Dave, Dusty, will he have to throw it downfield dependent upon the health of Nebraska's quarterback and what they may be playing with here going forward?
Good point, Tom. No question.
Give to Allen on first down. Oh, lost yardage, but was really patient. Waited for a hold open, picked up about 3 before Isaac Gifford brought him down.
Look like Ty Robinson getting great penetration as he's bear crawling the backfield. See that patience, cutback ability by Braylon Allen. Could have easily been a negative play. Nice job getting back to the line of scrimmage and a minimal pickup.
7 consecutive games over 100 yards for Braylon Allen. Jonathan Taylor did that in 2018. Taylor, one of the best young backs in the NFL. Allen, one of the best young running backs in college football. On 2nd and 8, Mertz to the air, throws to the end zone, and it's caught. Kendrick Pryor, touchdown Badgers. That's just the 2nd catch of the day by a Wisconsin wide receiver.
Well, there you go. Graham Mertz pushing the football down the field on the end cut from Kendrick Pryor. Well-placed football. Coverage behind Pryor, and that ball right where it needed to be for a nice touchdown pass from Graham Mertz.
9th touchdown pass of the season for Mertz, and Pryor in his 6th year on senior day with his 3rd touchdown grab. And the point after makes it 21-14.
Well, cause and effect here. Wisconsin defense gets the big takeaway. Prime real estate after the 41-yard return. And Graham Mertz with his first pass down the field completed. It's for 6. The Badgers on top.
Saquon Barkley could be back as well. That's on ESPN2. And, of course, Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Lewis Riddick will have the call on ESPN. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luganbill, and Madison. Wisconsin with a 21-14 lead. And here's Alante Brown electing to fair catch it, so he'll come out to the 25-yard line. Tonight on ABC, we have what could be a preview of the Pac-12 championship game, and the conference hoping to stay alive for a spot in the playoff. And that means Oregon has to win tonight in Salt Lake City. That game will kick off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC.
Excited for that game. Anthony Brown's ability to run the football is going to be a huge factor. And watch for Utah linebacker Devin Lloyd, one of the absolute best in the country. That matchup, quarterback run game, Devin Lloyd defensively, going to be a key in the outcome of that game tonight.
Adrian Martinez coming off the interception, going to hand it off, and nowhere to go as Jack Sanborn stuffs Marvin Scott at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Jack Sanborn downhill right now, unblocked. That's a guy that you want to be able to locate and identify as he comes down, lowers the shoulder. A nice tackle.
Lots of guys to pick not to block. He's not one of them.
No, he's not. He's going to make you pay every time, Tom.
Yep.
Martinez will throw it on 2nd down to the sideline, and is pulled in. Xavier Betts with the catch and a gain of 12 to the 37.
What's a good throw here by Adrian Martinez just on the out route, and Caesar Williams in his back pedal unable to get there. Quality timing by Adrian Martinez and his speedy wide receiver Xavier Betts.
You can tell he's missing some juice though, Dusty, on that throw.
Fresh set of downs, though, at the 37-yard line. And they're going to run the ball to Scott, looking for a cutback lane, and it's not there. The Badgers all over him after a gain of 2. This Nebraska team 0-12 under Scott Frost against ranked teams. 16 consecutive losses to AP ranked teams. That's the longest for Nebraska since the AP started. The AP poll back in the 1930s. Frost had to fire, I don't know if it was his choice or Trev Alberts, the AD. When we made mention of Alberts, Scott Frost told us on our call that we're making some assumptions there. But then he also talked glowingly about the coaches that he had to let go, which leads you to believe it wasn't his call. 4 coaches fired November 8th, but still a pretty good offensive game plan so far. Martinez on 2nd and 8, slings it complete out near midfield to Toure, who had a touchdown catch in the first half.
Quality contested catch here by Toure over the middle. This ball delivered in a tight window. Toure able to bring that ball in with the tight contact.
And we have an injured Badger. It's Leo Chanel who's shaken up.
Owner's named Jim. He's a Nebraska alum, currently works for the University of Wisconsin. And how about that man right there? The great Bob Pash, Dave's father. Briefly had a chance to meet him. What an awesome guy he is. And those are the same seats that my man Dave was sitting in way back when he was a young lad with a fine lock of hair up top.
No question. Pictures to prove it. 50-year season ticket holder, my dad, though, here. Lifelong Badger fan, as was his father. First down for Nebraska near midfield. They keep it on the ground. And Brody Belt, the price of that home, though, in Madison just went way down now that you said that I used to live there.
Hey, Dusty, in those shots of the home, were there any shots of the neighbor's home with bottle rockets, holes in the wall from Dave Mischief?
Dave the Menace?
Yeah.
There might be some dents from previous snowballs that were tossed. Apologies to my neighbors back when I was kind of an idiot. 2nd down and 6. Nebraska's been able to move the ball against this Wisconsin defense. Martinez back to throw, and a deep shot down the sideline, but throwing out of play. Going for Toure against Hicks, but he threw that one out of bounds. 3rd down.
Yeah, pass sells out of bounds, Dave. Didn't even give Toure an opportunity to make a play on that football. Setting up 3rd medium. Good coverage down the field by Fayon Hicks, who first possession of the game, they went at him multiple times, and Hicks has been so good throughout the course of the season. Good coverage, and pass it sailed far wide for Adrian Martinez.
Martinez with time, and it's caught for a first down at the 40-yard line by his tight end, Austin Allen.
Nice job on the shallow cross right there by Austin Allen. Great target, Allen here. You're just going to see him work across the middle of the field. Nice job by Adrian Martinez working through his progressions and locating his open tight end just past the chains. Nice pickup there on 3rd medium.
8th play of the drive coming up. Good response. Every time Wisconsin's made a big play, the Cornhuskers have bounced back. They did fail to score one time when they got in Wisconsin territory, turning it over on downs inside the 10. They run it here, and Marvin Scott, it's drilled at the 35-yard line by Scott Nelson, but still, it's a gain of 5.
A quality pickup on 1st down. Nice block pull. The right guard, Matt Sichterman, get out in front. Nice piece of running there by Marvin Scott. A little quickness there. He took a shot there at the end, and you notice here, Nebraska slowed way down, Dave. They're slowing this game down quite a bit. We see them oftentimes up to the ball quickly, and really not much of a hurry here to start the 2nd half.
Play action, Martinez in trouble, and he finds an open man downfield inside the 25-yard line. It's Levi Falk to the 23 for 12 more yards.
Another good find here by Martinez. Sanborn's going to come in and have pressure in the face of Adrian Martinez, and he makes that throw falling and fading away. And he locates an open Falk over the middle of the field. What a quality drive here. Every single time Wisconsin has scored, we've seen Nebraska come back and answer that score. On the move on a nice drive here once again.
Credit to the players already facing a losing season, no shot of a bowl game, and losing a bunch of coaches. Martinez again throwing, and this one's pulled in inside the 10 by Allen, heading for the goal line, and out of bounds inside the 5. They're going to mark him out at the 1-yard line.
I just love the location of this pass. High and outside, the big 6'9" target with good hands, easily secures that pass on the sidelines. And Nebraska now on the 1-yard line. What a well-thrown football. Quality catch and run after by Austin Allen.
And 33 catches on the season for Allen. The school record for a tight end is 34 for a single season. See if he gets it here. Nope, Martinez will keep it. Dives for the end zone and in. Touchdown, Nebraska. And a chance to tie the game here midway through the third. 35th career rushing touchdown for one of the best in Nebraska history, Adrian Martinez.
Well, this is pull the play side guard Sichterman. Let him kick out on the outside linebacker Burks. And a tough physical run there by Adrian Martinez getting in the end zone. These Nebraska Cornhuskers, man, they've got a lot of fight in them, and they will not go away.
So he looks fine, doesn't he, now? He looks just fine.
He's got 253 yards of total offense, guys, so he's 20 away from the all-time record at Nebraska. And I know they've had a bunch of losing seasons while Martinez has been the quarterback, but this guy's played very, very well, especially here today in a huge game here in Madison for the Badgers, trying to get closer to that Big Ten West title. Lake City to take on Utah. If the Ducks should lose, maybe Cincinnati will be in the top 4 this week. This will be a touchback. The Badgers will start this drive on their 25-yard line. So Iowa won today, and that's big because that means that if Wisconsin were to lose this game, it does not control its own destiny for a Big Ten West championship. The Badgers play at Minnesota next week. They've beaten Iowa. They've beaten Purdue. So if Wisconsin wins the next 2, regardless of what happens with Iowa against Nebraska on Friday, the Badgers would represent the West in the Big Ten championship.
And Iowa has to go to Lincoln and play this Nebraska Cornhusker team. So a lot left out there in this awesome Big Ten West race.
Back to their rushing attack and Braylon Allen. Other than that 71-yard run, Nebraska's done a pretty good job against him. He picks up about 6 there to the 31-yard line, tackled by Taylor Britt.
No question. We've seen this Nebraska front particularly do a really nice job. You know, Garrett Nelson's been all over the field. Ty Robinson, Casey Rogers. These guys have really done a quality job. As we see Braylon Allen kind of limp off the field. Looks a little banged up there, Dave.
In the first half, we saw him go down and wince in pain, but stayed in the game. Here's Julius Davis, and he gets hog-tied, but somehow got out of there. He got hit by Garrett Nelson. Should have lost about 2 or 3 yards, but escaped. Ended up gaining a yard or 2. Bring up 3rd down.
With Garrett Nelson, you're going to see him work right down the line of scrimmage. That offensive tackle goes away. You're taught follow where your key goes. He goes inside, gets that initial big hit on the running back. Very minimal gain there for Wisconsin running the football.
This is right where Wisconsin wants to be, though, Dusty. If you're going to be this type of offense, these are the 3rd downs you need.
No question. Playbook wide open. Obviously, the ability to run the football, play action. They love Jake Ferguson in these spots. Does such a good job sitting down in the open space.
They also love to hand it to Braylon Allen in 3rd down and short, but he's on the sideline, so Mertz will throw it, and wide open is Pryor for a 1st down past the 40, stays in bounds in the Nebraska territory and all the way down to the 40-yard line. Great run after the catch by Kendrick Pryor.
Yeah, just a shallow crosser. An outstanding job after the catch by Pryor, hitting the sidelines. Nice block over there to help get the extra yardage by Shipper. And man, Graham Mertz likes it. Calling for the 1st down.
25 yards after the catch. 28 yards in all for the 6th-year senior and his final game here at Camp Randall, Kendrick Pryor. Tie game late in the 3rd quarter. Braylon Allen back in the game. Play action pass, though. Mertz setting up a screen to Ferguson. Gets to the outside. Does a nice job evading a tackler. And close to a 1st down at the 30-yard line.
Another excellent play call here by Paul Christ. And we're going to see the tight end screen once again. Really nice job by Tyler Beach getting out in front, getting that initial block, and then a sidestep there by Jake Ferguson, picking up a nice 1st down.
First team All Big Ten tight end last year. from here in Madison. Fresh set of downs. They go back to Allen off the left edge. And he's able to bust it to the outside. Then runs down the sideline inside the 10-yard line and out of bounds at the 9. A 21-yard run for Braylon Allen, who is closing in on a $150 on the day.
How about that sidestep, that jump cut to the outside? And as Tom and I talked earlier, it's his feet. Like, you think a guy his size just going to be able to run right through you. He can sidestep you. And, man, he left Markel Dismuke hugging air with an excellent move and a big first down.
This guy's got a chance to be special.
And he's only 17 years old, turns 18 January 20th of 2022. Reclassified to play college football this year. Looking for a cutback lane here. Down to about the 5-yard line, bringing up second down and goal. We touched on this in the open. You think about all the great running backs, even going back to Alan Amici, winning the Heisman, and Ron Dane. And then, obviously, Jonathan Taylor.
Melvin Gordon. I mean, just run down the list.
But this guy's different in so many ways from a lot of those guys.
And somebody that no one on the staff, they knew they had a good football player. They didn't even know when he got here if he played linebacker, if he played running back, what he would do. And no one had any inkling he'd have this type of impact for this offense.
7th play of this drive. We'll see if he gets in here on second down. He will. And he's down to about the 3-yard line, engulfed there. Miles Farmer and one of his offensive linemen, Jack Nelson, was in there assisting the defense. I don't know if he just backed into him or what, but Allen got wrapped up because of that. 3rd down and goal.
Decision time, you know. Obviously, I think that you can trust your big bruising running back here, and an offensive line that's been much improved throughout the course of the season. The other thing I look for here, you know, hard play action, tight end, delay type of, you know, in the back of the end zone. I think it's going to be a run to Braylon Allen or hard play action, and maybe try to locate one of these tight ends sneaking off on the outside.
Temperature dropping. It was about 48 degrees at kickoff. Badgers are going to use a timeout here, so that will leave them with 2. So a chance for the Badgers to take the lead with their outstanding true freshman back, Braylon Allen, having another phenomenal day.
Well, he's got a little bit of everything. The size at 6'2", 238. The powers, you see him running through arm tackles. And the ability to make people miss in the open field. That vision he has for a guy his size, something special. 7 straight 100-yard rushing days for the true freshman.
You know what, Dusty? I think the thing that's even more impressive is it's one thing to have played running back your entire career, and you get a sense of timing and patience and vision and where to see the lane and the advanced points. This guy's just figuring this out as he goes. I mean, they didn't know, to your point, where they were going to play him. So for him to have the instincts that he's got for the position at this age with the limited sample size at running back, it's spectacular.
It's a great point, and you would think that he's only going to grow and continue to get better over the course of time.
This Wisconsin team started 1-3, winning 6 in a row entering today, but in a fight here with Nebraska. 3rd down and goal. Badgers looking to recapture the lead. They have 2 men in the backfield with Braylon Allen, and Allen will get the carry. He gets hit at the goal line, but powers his way into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. That dude is tough to get to the ground. Man.
When you got a guy that's that size and that powerful, you get inside the 3-yard line, you just got to roll your sleeves up and feed him the football. That was a drive that was pretty much all Braylon Allen, and he caps it off with a nice touchdown.
So Wisconsin back in front. Colin Larsh on for the extra point. 28-21, 90 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Well, let's watch exactly how this got opened up. 82, Jack Eschenbach. We're going to see him pull around, and then 70 right here. Going to get out in front, and it's a really nice job blocking up their guys. And then you see the power of Braylon Allen as he's met at the goal line and will not be denied as he gets into the end zone once again.
So here's before the play. Look at the leadership being shown there, talking to the offensive lineman as if to say, just block, I'll do the rest.
That's exactly right.
I'll tell you one thing, guys, you can't hit him high. They tried to hit him high. It just delays him for a second, and he falls forward again.
Boom. Powerful, powerful, powerful. But as we've seen throughout the course of the day, every time Wisconsin has scored, there's been a quick answer by the Huskers. We'll see what Adrian Martinez has in store on this next drive.
And Nebraska's continued to elect to fair catch the ball, even if it's popped up around the 15-yard line. They're satisfied with getting starting field position to their 25-yard line. We'll see what happens here. And Nebraska have been close all season. 7 losses by a total of 42 points. It's going to be another fair catch, but it's muffed, and the ball is free. It's scooped up. They're going to blow it dead here at the 8-yard line.
But recovered it on the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 6.
Because of the muff on the fair catch opportunity here, we said they've been doing this the entire second half. And Alante Brown put it on the ground. You can't do that in this situation because now you're stuck with the ball on the 6-yard line. It's where you touch it after you muff a fair catch and a kickoff.
It was right through his arms there. He's in perfect position, just right through his arms, hits his body, and now the Huskers backed up, trying to answer Wisconsin's scoring drive.
Well, look at the difference in field position, man. What a killer.
But Adrian Martinez has had a great day at quarterback. Just got to drive it a little bit further here to try to tie it back up at 28. Closing stages here, the third quarter. Martinez to throw from his end zone. It's a pop pass to Austin Allen. There's a flag down. Let's see where that flag is thrown. If it's in the end zone and it's an offensive penalty, it will be a safety and 2 points for Wisconsin.
I think this is going to be on Turner Cochran. I think he held Matt Henningsen. It's right by the goal line. It's going to be close, guys.
They just took the flag, and it was in the end zone. They just took it and then flipped it to the 2-yard line.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. The foul being forced from the previous line of scrimmage. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's what it was. Turner Corcoran. See this? Go ahead and play that, guys. Right over here on the left.
Yeah, it clearly happened outside the end zone. So
that's the right call. Man, backed all the way up against this aggressive defense. Bad place to be.
And a wide receiver screen out to about the 9-yard line is Alante Brown, who just muffed that kickoff a moment ago. So he gets to the 11. That'll give them a little bit more breathing room, put it in a manageable 2nd down and 5. Showing some confidence there, Scott Frost, going right back to Alante Brown when you're inside your 10-yard line on a wide receiver screen after what just happened.
No question. That was a very important play. Just as you mentioned, give them some breathing room. Allow your offense to be able to operate, not backed up against their own end zone.
They shift Brown into the backfield and hand it off to Scott. And he's dragged down short of the line to gain by about 1.5 yards. So 3rd down coming up. Leo Chanel, who was banged up on that last defensive possession for Wisconsin, he's back on the field and made the tackle. Nebraska may elect to just go to the 4th quarter, get away from that student section. And that's what they'll do. So the next snap will come on the other side of the field, where it's still loud, but not like it is on that end. 28-21, Wisconsin leading college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. We'll continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Camp Randall Stadium shaking as usual. In between the 3rd and 4th quarters, the time-honored tradition of jump around here in Madison.
I noticed you're not jumping around today. I would have to imagine a younger Full head of hair. Dave Pash was jumping around back in the day, no?
Well, back when I was going to games here, there were about 200 people in the stands. They didn't even have this. 28-21, Wisconsin leading Nebraska. And a big third down here for the Cornhuskers. 3rd and a yard. This will be their 7th third down conversion attempt. And they go empty.
Quarterback run.
Here's Martinez, and he finds the hole. He's wrapped up by Chanel, but he gets the first down just past the 16-yard line. Boy, Martinez has been so good today. The poise. That's a big reason why they've been in every game, because of how he handles himself. He's a really good player. And closing in on becoming the all-time leader in total offense at Nebraska. He'd be surpassing Tommy Armstrong Jr., who did it about 5 years ago. Scott Frost obviously played the position, won 2 national championships as a player, 24-2 as a starter. First down, Martinez keeps it, and he's past the 20 and out near the 21-yard line for 5 more yards.
It's very fitting as you're talking about Scott Frost playing days. The triple option is run by Adrian Martinez. Love how Scott Frost has kept that a part of this Husker offense. And, you know, this was the first major recruit Scott Frost went after. He was still at UCF at the time, going back and forth, you know, trying to still coach that UCF team, recruit for Nebraska. And he was able to get Adrian Martinez to decommit from Tennessee and come to Nebraska. I think a big question for next season with the extra year of eligibility. Will he be back running this Husker offense? Frost told us he wants it back.
He's the first 3-time captain in Nebraska history. Martinez to throw it here, looking downfield, and it's underthrown and intercepted at the 45-yard line. Colin Wilder with his 2nd pick of the day of Martinez.
And as we speak so glowingly about Martinez, there's so much good. This is the problem. The turnovers. The head-scratching moves that he makes at crucial times. And here's another one as he throws it up. And a huge pick for Colin Wilder as he's playing the air guitar. Adrian Martinez doesn't like it.
Over the last 3 games, Adrian Martinez has thrown 7 interceptions. He's talking there with head coach Scott Frost after his latest one. You look at the wins, no turnovers or no picks anyway, 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions into 7 losses. 2 more today. Wisconsin takes over, leading by 7 from its 45-yard line. You would expect them to run some clock here with Braylon Allen. He'll get the carry. And only a gain of 2 up to the 48-yard line. So Allen now with 17 rushes. He's averaging about 10 yards a pop on the ground. And he's closing in on 1,000 yards for the season. And he just made his first start a week ago against Northwestern. Ches Malusi was a starter, transfer from Clemson until he suffered a season-ending leg injury against Rutgers.
They had a great 1-2 punch going with Ches Malusi, and you hate to see him not a part of the fold. But man, Braylon Allen now given a bigger role in this offense, and he's taken full advantage. Tight end trades all throughout the day for this Wisconsin Badger offense.
Play action here for Mertz, and a dump off to Ferguson, getting the first down, and banged out a play at the 40-yard line, so a 12-yard pickup.
Is that tight end delay, hard play action, boot. Ferguson sells the block well. And then he just pops out into the flats and he's open. Luke Reimer unable to get out to the flats quick enough. And an easy first down for this Badgers offense.
Hey, Dusty, Damian Daniels, 93, the big disruptive defensive tackle for Nebraska. This is the 3rd series in a row he's not been in the game. Has been a factor earlier in the game. Been on the sideline now for 3 series.
Yeah, that's big. One of their captains, one of their best players on defense. First down for the Badgers. Allen again waits for the cutback lane, and he's down to the 35 for 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up, 3 minutes into the 4th.
And we heap a lot of praise on Braylon Allen, and Ches Malusi was great. This offensive line has been much improved throughout the course of the season. Their offensive tackle struggled early. You know, Tyler Beach missed most of all of training camp. And really the center, Joe Tippmann, right guard, Jack Nelson. And we've seen Josh Seltzner, the left guard, also do a really nice job inside with some pulls. These guys have continued to get better and better. And Tom, when you watch them early to late, just looks like a completely different unit up front for the Badgers.
It is. They're consistent now. They know who they are. The quarterback settled in. They know who the running back is. It just took some time.
Both Tippmann and Nelson first-year starters. 2nd down and 5 here for Wisconsin. And a penalty marker down. Movement by the Badgers.
False start. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Jack Eschenbach, one of the tight ends. Don't forget on Tuesday, a brand new college football playoff ranking. Top 25 presented by Capital One. Oregon plays on ABC tonight. Alabama in a tough game against Arkansas right now. Be interesting to see if Ohio State moves up to number 2 after this week. On 2nd and 10, Mertz's pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. It was Ben Stilley that got a big paw. 6th-year player out of Ashland, Nebraska. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, I really liked his tape coming in. He played outstanding against Ohio State. Watch the active hands here as he works to the guard, shuts it down. Athletic play, getting that right hand up in the throwing lane. As you mentioned, 6-year senior, been really playing some good football. Nebraska football through and through.
So a huge 3rd down here for the Nebraska defense trying to get off the field. Mertz to the air, has time, and now checks it down to Ferguson at the 35. He's close to a 1st down, but short at the 31. We've seen Wisconsin go for it today a couple times on 4th down, and they're going to keep the offense on the field here with a 7-point lead on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think that Paul Chris going to trust this offensive line. He's got a 6'2", 238-pound running back behind him. Just brought in an extra offensive lineman, 63, Tanner Bortolini. They're going big package right here. John Chanel in the game, 6 offensive linemen in the game. You know what's coming right here, Dave.
And they missed a field goal earlier. That could be one of the reasons why they did this.
Fullback dives, another play they love here.
And it is Chanel, and he goes down for a loss. And Nebraska will take over on downs. Luke Reimer was all over that play, and John Chanel loses yardage. Cornhusker football.
Well, Nebraska needed defense to stay alive. 4th and short, and it's the great push by Nebraska with a huge stop.
To go. Iowa won today, so if Wisconsin were to lose, Nebraska would have to beat Iowa on Friday, then the Badgers would have to beat Minnesota to win the West. If Wisconsin wins today and beats Minnesota next week on the road, the Badgers would go to the Big Ten title game once again. Would be their 7th trip in 11 years. Martinez wide open. Austin Allen somersaults as he's tackled at the 47, but picks up 15 yards on the first play of this drive.
Well, this play action really got Leo Chanel to come up. Middle of the field wide open for the big target, Austin Allen. Good sell there by Adrian Martinez on the play fake, and nice job locating his big tight end in the middle of the field.
The last Big Ten championship, by the way, for Wisconsin came in 2012 against Nebraska, back when the divisions were legends and leaders, not East and West. Martinez on the rollout, slings it to the sideline. Toure on the catch in Wisconsin territory at the 49 for a gain of 4 on the play. So Adrian Martinez is now the all-time leader in total offense at Nebraska after that last play.
That's impressive, man. There's been a long line of great quarterbacks that have come through there. Played a lot of football for this Husker team, but what an accomplishment for Adrian Martinez.
And he's got the Cornhuskers on the move. Hands it off here to Scott. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 as we close in on 9 minutes to go here in the 4th. Arvin Scott had 6 carries all season coming into today. He now has 7 for this game. Ramir Johnson, who had been the starter, he's hurt. Savion Morrison, he's no longer with the program. We haven't seen Jaquez Yant at all. It's been Stepp or Scott. This is Scott getting the first down, but a flag is down. Scott is still running inside the 20. Finally tracked down inside the 15. But again, a flag is down near the line of scrimmage. We'll see if it's offensive holding. That'll negate a huge play.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Third down.
They call it on Turner Corcoran.
Twice now here in the fourth. He's been called for holding.
Tough penalty. Let's take a look. He's been working over there on Nick Herbig. Yeah, that's close. He got himself around that shoulder right there. Didn't let go. I think it was as Herbig tried to come loose, he kind of spun around. I think that's what drew the flag. That's a tough call, though, on Turner Corcoran. And a devastating blow on such a big run there by Marvin Scott.
Is your play call here on 3rd and 13 thinking that you may have to go for it on 4th down, or is it too early? Let's see.
I think it's too early.
Martinez will throw, and he's got his tight end, but it's short. Forward progress, though, will take it to the 45 as Austin Allen makes the catch. So it's 4th and 2. Got to go for it here, right?
Yeah, I think that they picked up so much on that 3rd down, 4th and 2 situation. Wow, big play. They're going quick.
Martinez is settling things down, getting the call from the sideline. 4th down and 2. They're 0 for 1 today. That #1 defense in terms of yards allowed. See how it holds up here. Nebraska's done a pretty good job against that group so far in the game.
Martinez, such a good runner in these situations.
Play clock at 3. Martinez will keep it in trouble. Throws it downfield. Receiver wide open inside the 20 is Austin Allen. How did he get free? Inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line for Nebraska.
Wow, what a play here from Adrian Martinez. Hard play fake. He's on the move. He's under duress. And a wide open Austin Allen down the field. And a huge 38-yard pickup on 4th and 2. Wow, what a play.
Look at the day for Austin Allen, a new tight end record in Nebraska, 36th catch, most in a single season, 143 yards through the air, and Nebraska looking to tie the game here with 4 downs inside the 10. Run play to Scott, down to about the 3-yard line. Sanborn on the tackle, 2nd and goal.
Wow, what a ball game. Nebraska's been in these moments so many times this season, Dave.
And Adrian Martinez, we talked about his mistakes, but again, showing that resilience, what you'd expect from a 3-time captain, leading his team back down inside the 5-yard line.
Multiple tight ends in the game.
Scott again into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska. Marvin Scott, who has not played, hasn't had a carry since week 2. Getting it done here in the 4th quarter and a chance to tie the game.
Well, excellent block inside. Newili, watch here and scoop here, and then we're going to open up this lane right here, and Scott's going to hit it right down the head. Excellent job inside. Newili, 63, caves it down. Corcoran scoops it out. And a big running hole for Marvin Scott to tie up this game.
Extra points and short field goals have not been gimmies, but this one is good for Chase Contreras, and we are tied at 28 with 6:27 to go. Big bounce back by Adrian Martinez. This is the 4th down play to Austin Allen to set up Marvin Scott for the touchdown run. And we are tied here in the 4th in Madison.
Let's look at that crucial 4th and 2. Here's Austin Allen. He's going to run here. All right, now go ahead and roll it, guys. Now, as Adrian Martinez looks like he's a runner, and he's going to become a runner. Now, freeze it. Okay, right here. Torchio here. Dean here. They come down. All of a sudden, nobody's with Austin Allen. He's wide open. What a find from Adrian Martinez. Selling that run, drawing that safety down, and a wide open tight end down the field in a crucial piece of this game.
And a touchback, so we'll check in with Kevin Negandhi in the studio.
Dave, time now for the AT&T Countdown. on to the CFP National Championship. Let's go to College Park, Michigan with some trickeration here. Boog on the kick. Michael Barrett to A.J. Henning. How about opening up the playbook with Ohio State next week?
Yeah, something to work on. They're feeling pretty good. They didn't overlook Maryland, and they're putting on a show, Kev.
They just got a pick six. It's right now 59-18. And how about this score in Tuscaloosa?
Hogs are playing tough. Very well coached team by Sam Pittman.
Bama just fumbled inside their own 5-yard line. Arkansas with the ball. Dave, Dusty, and Luke's back to you.
Whoa. Did he say inside Bama's 5-yard line?
Whoa.
Uh-oh. First down for Wisconsin after the touchback. They're going to go back to the workhorse, Allen, up to the 30 and the 32 for about 7 or 8 yard line. 7 or 8 yards, excuse me, before Ben Stilley makes the tackle. Will be really interesting. If Alabama loses, obviously they're out in terms of the college football playoff.
Does a close loss hurt them, though, in the eyes of the committee, with Ohio State being so impressive? Cincinnati right now up, I believe, 48-0 against SMU with their signature win since they beat Notre Dame. There's a lot to discuss as we approach Tuesday night. And Oregon yet to play following us here on ABC.
Against Utah in Salt Lake City. 2nd down and 3. Keep it on the ground here with Braylon Allen. And he's got the first down. Again, great second effort, tackled by Luke Reimer. So it's the top 2 teams in the Pac-12. Coming up next could be a Pac-12 championship game preview. Oregon ranked number 3. They beat Ohio State earlier this season in Columbus. Their one loss was against Stanford, a team that's 3-7. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Also available on the ESPN app.
Oregon wins that game. They're in prime position. I can't wait to watch. Can they run the football in Utah? It'll be fascinating to watch that unfold.
Tough place to win, man.
From the 36-yard line, Allen 3rd straight carry and picks up about 4 out to the 40 with 5 minutes to go. All-State playoff predictor. Let's see what Oregon's chances for the college football playoff are looking like heading into tonight's game. We talked about the key win. Strength of record number 8. Right now, just a 7% chance to make the college football playoff, though. They do have Oregon State. That's a good team that they'll play next week. That'll be in Eugene. For more information about each team's chances to make the college football playoff, check out ESPN.com/All-State Playoff Predictor.
Mario Cristobal, I'm showing my team that playoff predictor.
Play action pass here. Mertz finding Ferguson, his tight end, who breaks a tackle and gets a first down. Boy, a chance for Nebraska to make it 3rd down, but a whiff by Miles Farmer. Eventually, Henrich made the stop, and Ferguson lost a shoe.
Quality run after the catch there by Jake Ferguson. As you referenced, he could have easily been stopped short of that first down. Nice job making the initial defender miss and moving the chains. What a day for tight ends catching the football in this ball game.
Dusty, I'll tell you, he is so deceptively quick. Every time he catches the ball, he always makes the first defender miss.
No doubt, Tom. We've seen it all throughout this ball game today.
So fresh set of downs, clock at 4 minutes here for Wisconsin. They'll go back to Braylon Allen, and he's got some running room past the 40-yard line, gets rid of a defender, and will take it into the end zone for another long touchdown run for the Badgers. Braylon Allen, well over 200 rushing yards on the day. That one goes for 53. He had a 71-yarder in the first half, and the Badgers retake the lead.
We've talked about this young man from the onset of this game, and he has delivered. Another big run and touchdown for Braylon Allen.
228 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. The extra point makes it 35-28 Wisconsin.
Well, this is Wisconsin football in its purest form. Big guys blocking, big running back finding the end zone. Badgers back on top in Madison. Let's take a quick look at this 53-yard touchdown. What a scene here in Madison. as the lights are going off. Okay, extra offensive lineman in. Bortolini here. We're going to see a kick out and then pull the center and get up there to Reimer. Joe Tippmann, the center, with a great block. Logan Bruss, extra offensive lineman, Tanner Bortolini. Look, we give Braylon Allen all the credit we should, but that's as well blocked as it gets. Offensive line coach Joe Rudolph, he's going to make a clinic tape off of that. Excellent job by the Wisconsin offensive line, opening a huge hole for Braylon Allen to take it 53 to the house.
And he's got 228 yards. The last 200-yard rusher, Jonathan Taylor, with 222 against Purdue back in 2019. But the kickoff goes out of bounds. So that's going to give Nebraska an excellent field position here after the big mistake by the Badgers on the kick.
Out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line on the left hash. 1st and 10.
Well, it's been a good game plan offensively for Scott Frost. And given all the turmoil, 4 offensive coaches fired 10 days ago, and then also 12 days ago, then the interim positions. Same primary play callers on defense and then with Scott Frost on offense, but still a very impressive performance offensively. No one has done to Wisconsin's defense over the last 2 months what Nebraska has done today. Let's see if they can do it again. They've got 313 passing yards. That's the most allowed by Wisconsin this entire season. The Badgers come in number 1 in total defense, number 2 in pass defense, number 2 in points allowed. And Nebraska gets the opportunity to start on its 35-yard line after the kickoff went out of bounds. Adrian Martinez back to throw, in trouble, gets away from pressure. And Martinez slides. He started that slide at the 40-yard line, so a gain of 4 or 5. 7 losses by a combined 42 points. And that 9-point loss against Ohio State was because of a late field goal that was really inconsequential by Ohio State. But as you look at that, you see what Ohio State did to Michigan State today. Again, it tells a story of Nebraska being very competitive despite 7 losses. And a completion for a first down to Belt out to the 47-yard line. First down.
And I think part of that also tells the story of why they want to give Scott Frost another chance, right? Because they are that close. This is a good football team, though it's not always indicative in the win-loss column. But you're going to talk about a team that's close to really breaking through. No team closer in college football than Nebraska.
And since that second interception by Martinez, he's 5 for 5 for 85 yards and a touchdown, bouncing back as we've seen him do all the time. He'll throw it here, over the middle. It's caught for another first down. Toure inside the 40, out of play, near the 35-yard line with plenty of time, 2:51 to go.
What's good protection this time. Taylor Martinez surveys the field, steps into the throw. An excellent after the catch by Toure. He has been great here this afternoon for these Huskers.
Dusty, this is about as good as I've seen Adrian Martinez be in rhythm and on time. He's protecting himself in doing so.
Nebraska with all of its timeouts. Ball at the Wisconsin 35, needing a touchdown to try to tie the game. Martinez off a play fake, dumps it off to the 30-yard line. Falk on the catch, taken down by Chenal, a gain of about 5 yards. Leo Chenal with the stop, clock at 2:20 and counting, second down and 5.
Nebraska in no hurry right now, right? Taking their time still as that clock dips down close to 2 minutes. They're in no hurry whatsoever as they're 30 yards away from making this a very interesting finish, Dave.
They do not want Wisconsin to get the ball back. It's this drive or bust for Nebraska.
Be a timeout, maybe.
Yeah, late substitution, and the play clock is at 8. See if they can snap it before it expires, or they have to burn a timeout. They get the play off in time, pressure off the edge. Martinez pass is caught. Toure fighting for the first down, down to the 23-yard line. Stop the clock to reset the chains. 1:38 to go.
Really good by Toure there. The yards after the catch, he's short of the sticks. 2 defenders there barreling down on him, and he splits the defenders and moves the chains.
He might have gotten shaken up on that play. You saw him calling for a substitution. So he's on the sideline right now. He's their top receiver. They're inside the 25 with 1:20 to go. And a straight handoff, and what a hit that time by Herbig. Dragging down Belt at the point of attack. 1:10 and counting. Nebraska going to let the clock run.
Interesting play call there on first down. This clock now ticking down under a minute. Nebraska does have 3 timeouts, so there's no time to panic, but last thing you want to do is all of a sudden have to get into a rush. You'd like to see somewhat of a sense of urgency here as this clock's now below 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Dusty, you don't want to see them have to force the ball into the end zone.
Right.
And Toure still on the sideline for Nebraska with 40 seconds to go on second down. Here comes pressure. Martinez just threw it away and a flag down. Was that catchable, though? Austin Allen was grabbed. They're going to say pass interference, but that ball was thrown out of bounds. And it clearly was interference based on what we saw live.
Is there going to be a discussion about this?
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. The ball being placed at the spot of the infraction. Automatic. First down.
I mean, you look where the ball lands, and look up here. We're pretty sure he's throwing it away, but based on where the ball is when the interference takes place, you understand why the official threw the flag. Maybe if he had watched it land, maybe he says, oh, he was throwing that away. But fresh set of downs, 34 seconds to go. 1st and 10. Martinez to throw. Into the end zone. It's high and incomplete. He was going for Vokalek, who he hit a couple times earlier. There is a flag down in the backfield with 30 seconds to go. This is going to be on the Cornhuskers, it looks like.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Bryce Benhart, the right tackle, who's going to get called. Working inside there on Noah Burks. There's a twist game. That's Sanborn who's coming around. And Sanborn looks for the flag, and he gets exactly that.
So that moves the ball outside the 20-yard line with 30 seconds to go. 1st and 20 on the 21. They still have 3 timeouts, so they can run the ball here. Toure is back into the game as well. Martinez on the rollout, being chased, and he throws it out of bounds into the stands with 23 seconds to go. Second down.
Boy, such a good blitzer, Leo Chenal. Really did a nice job. He times these blitzes up so well. As good a blitzing linebacker as there is. Sidesteps the running back and forces that errant throw there by Adrian Martinez.
Boy, that penalty was huge. So that holding call puts him in a really difficult spot here. You're at 2nd and 20 on the 21-yard line with only 23 seconds to go. Got to call at least a couple plays to give you a real shot at the end zone on 4th down.
Toure in motion. Watch him.
Martinez hoists it into the end zone. Incomplete, going for Toure. He had to get rid of that with 2 Badgers in the backfield. 17 seconds to go. 3rd and 20.
Tell you what, Jim Leonard's dialing it up, Dave. Pressure on Adrian Martinez. Unable to get clean pocket to step into these throws. It's been aggressive by nature since he's been a defensive coordinator here at Wisconsin. Nothing changing about that here today.
All right, Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill down on the field. Okay, so a timeout call that is 2 left now for Nebraska. How do you handle this if you're Scott Frost? 17 seconds left. Is it 2 shots to the end zone, or you're running something here, whether it's a run play or a pass play, to make it a little bit easier to have a realistic chance of getting into the end zone on 4th down?
I don't think you have to have 2 shots to the end zone. You can cut this in half, right? I mean, you can give yourself a more manageable situation. You have the timeouts, so you don't have to worry about necessarily getting down out of bounds. Middle of the field is open. I don't think that you force something into the end zone. If something comes open, you've got to look, take your shot. But I clearly do not think this is a situation where you need to force the issue and try to push this football into the end zone if it's not there.
I'll tell you, Dusty, it just feels like it's the same movie, different week. This Nebraska team so badly needs something good to happen. Just make one play. You only need one play. They got to have it in this moment.
That's the line we've heard from Scott Frost all season. Just feels like the same movie on repeat. Will that movie's ending change here tonight? We'll find out here soon.
Martinez to the air on 3rd down and 20. And his pass over the head of Toure, incomplete. It's 4th and 20 with 12 seconds to go, and Nebraska down 7. So an errant throw there by Martinez as Torrey looked open. That would have cut it in half. They would have gotten the ball down near the 10-yard line.
And Martinez just misfires there, Dave. You're exactly right. Torrey was open right around the 12-yard line. That pass sails high and no chance for 3 to come down with that ball.
Another timeout called here by Nebraska to talk about what could be the final play of the game. It's not 4th and goal, but you still would have to think the pass is going somewhere either to the end zone around the 2 or 3 yard line. And then you're hoping maybe you get a broken tackle. But again, that holding call against Nebraska was enormous, but you and Tom both touched on it. They took Michigan State to overtime and lost. Lost by 3 to Michigan, which looks like a potential college football playoff team. Lost by 5 to Purdue, by 9 against Ohio State. They haven't beaten a ranked team since Scott Frost took over 4 years ago. They're 0-12. They need a miracle here on 4th and 20 with 12 seconds to go.
And Torrey's out of the game. He just ran over the sidelines. He's not even in.
Martinez waiting, looking, lofts it downfield, and it's broken up. Incomplete. Wisconsin takes over on downs with 4 seconds to go.
Well, Adrian Martinez under pressure. Can't really step into this throw. And the makeup speed there by Faion Hicks. And I thought he got there a little bit soon, Dave. I really did. I thought contact before the ball gets there by Faion Hicks. There's no flag. I think you could have easily thrown a flag there. Contact before the ball gets there. In that spot, that's a missed call by these officials.
I'm with you. It's clear that Hicks arrives early and contacts Betts, and that impacts the play. Now, there is a flag down, but this was thrown well after.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Okay, couldn't hear exactly what happened there. Unsportsmanlike conduct thrown at the Nebraska bench, we're being told, well after the play. He's obviously upset. He saw what we saw, that there was contact by Hicks downfield that impacted the play and should have been a pass interference call, and Frost is still going at the officials right now.
I fully understand in that moment, you know, an official doesn't want to throw the flag, but that was pretty obvious to me, Dave. I mean, their contact was there. And can you even imagine the emotion, the frustration this season? Scott Frost and another tough, hard-fought loss for this Nebraska football team.
But for Wisconsin, another win. That's 7 in a row, one step closer to potentially winning the Big Ten West. They have to beat Minnesota next week on the road in Minneapolis. If they do, they will go to the Big Ten championship game for the 7th time in 11 years. They control their own destiny, already having beaten Iowa and Purdue. Another win for Paul Christ. He's standing by with Tom.
Well, Coach, a hard-fought game like you know it was going to be. Your defense gave up some plays early and then settled down. How did you feel like the game plan went for you this week?
Well, it was just, you know, it's not easy to win. And you're right, this is a good team, and it takes a lot of guys to get the victory. And you appreciate all the efforts that goes into it. And proud of the way our guys competed the whole game.
Big plays in the kicking game. Braylon Allen had another outstanding performance. But how would you assess the performance of your offensive line?
You know, Braylon, good heck of a job, but it starts somewhere, right? And obviously up front they did a nice job, and like I said, we thought going in it was a heck of a defense, but it takes everyone. You know, I know we had a couple of those plays, receivers were downfield blocking, and you know, just proud of this group. You know, it's like I said, it's never easy, and they played together, they played off of each other. They had a number of big plays, and I think responses, right? When things didn't go well, how do you respond? And I think that's why I'm proud of what they did today.
Thanks, Coach. Go enjoy it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Braylon Allen with touchdown runs of 53 and 71 yards. Plus, he had a kickoff return for a touchdown for Wisconsin today.
What an excellent football game. Wisconsin alive and well to make a Big Ten championship push. And for Nebraska, another tough, emotional loss. We'll see if they can finish with a win with their 382nd straight sellout next week against Iowa.
Our final score, Wisconsin 35, Nebraska 28. For Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luganbill, our entire ABC crew, I'm Dave Pash. So long from Madison. Let's go back to the studio.